Viewers, Deepika Padukone is sought after as the emblem of righteous dissent. She was invited by the likes of Kanhaiya Kumar, Umar Khalid, and several from what has come to be known as the Tukre Tukre lobby to add moral weight to a protest against the government at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. But today, as she stands exposed demanding Maal, a euphemism for drugs, in a WhatsApp chat, questions are being asked by scandalized India. Times now that viewers only took her name when we accessed the messages bearing her name has been seeking answers from Deepika Padukone. But she's holed up in a resort in Goa, hoping to brazen it out. It is interesting that even those who shared a stage with her are today silent. In fact, as skeletons tumble out of Bollywood's cupboards faster than we can count them, apologists like Jaya Bachchan, Taapsee Pannu, Anurag Kashyap are also not opening their mouths. It is also striking that these links to drug peddlers have been unearthed by the centre's agencies and not by the Mumbai police. Why is this? Is it because powerful netas are firewalling these A-list stars and an insidious culture in Bollywood that only enriches elements of the criminal underworld and, of course, India's perennial adversary, Pakistan? Fundamental questions tonight, viewers. Now, you will recall, viewers, that yesterday Times Now put out a chat between Deepika and an employee of a top agency, talent agency. And the employee, Karishma, is talking about bringing drugs to Deepika Padukone. K Maal you have? She asked. No ordinary Maal. She wanted hashish, hash, a more potent form of marijuana, or at least a more processed form of marijuana. Viewers, I can tell you that we have made several attempts to contact Deepika Padukone all day today. We are being told that she is in a top resort in Goa. Our reporter Deepak Bopanna is there, right outside that resort. We tried a little earlier today to contact Deepika Padukone, but she didn't take our call. Let's play out that sequence for you, viewers. This is a sequence from earlier today. In desperation, we decided to record this so you would get a sense, viewers, of how many times and the efforts we have made to contact Deepika Padukone. What does she have to hide? If she's innocent, why is it taking her this long to come up with a statement to refute any links to what many believe is a mafia that operates in Bollywood, entrapping stars, both seniors, juniors, and mid-ranging? But watch this sequence, viewers.
So I'm going to try and get a reaction from Deepika Padukone. We are trying her number. She has been out of reach. And it seems we still can't get through her number. Times Now has gone to the home of Deepika Padukone as well to try and get in touch with her. She's not at home. I believe she is in Goa, which is why we are trying her number. It's dialing, but there is no response.
Dialing but no response. Dialing but no response, viewers. And I want to go straight across to Deepak and also Tamal. Tamal, I'll come out to you in just a few moments. We know that there are other Bollywood A-listers who are under the scanner. But Deepak, Right behind you is that resort. And we are being told that Deepika Padukone is in that resort. It's a luxury, uber luxury resort. Apparently she's shooting there, but there has been not a squeak out of her since last night. What are you hearing?
Yes, Rahul, speaking to a few people here, they are telling us that for the last couple of days, Deepika Padukone is here. And what we are told is that it's a shoot that's going to start in the next couple of days. And she has not stepped out of the hotel. As of now, it's not very clear whether a few sequences are being shot inside this lavish hotel, the Taj Holiday Village Resort and Spa. That's where she's believed to be staying. And this is in the Candolim area in Goa. We're also getting some more details that there could be this particular shooting that she's here for. Could also have Ananya Pandey and Siddhant Chaturvedi as well joining her too. So, these are the details that we are getting. But as far as her movement is concerned, it's very restricted to inside the resort. Mostly inside a room is what, people are telling us at this point in time. For the last, couple of hours, we've been trying to establish contact with her, speak to her with regard to these allegations that have surfaced and also these chats that have surfaced. We are hoping to get a response very soon.
Saying that Deepika Padukone is in her room. She's not coming out of her room ever since last night. That's interesting news. So she's not even mingling with guests at the resort or even been spotted by them at the resort. Deepak.
Yes, it's quite interesting because after this news broke out, of course, she's quite wary about who she meets and who she speaks to. And this is quite a big property. So she has spaces around her room. That's what she's using is what we are told. She's not really going into the common areas where there will be other guests as well, where she could have a situation where people could ask her with regard to these allegations that have surfaced now. So at this point in time, she continues to remain incommunicado to, us as well. We are trying to establish contact, as I mentioned, so it's going to be interesting once the shoot resumes. She will of course have to step out, or whether the team even decides to cancel the shoot overall, which she's here for, is also going to be interesting, because for the last couple of days she's not stepped out. So it's either shooting that's happening inside the resort itself, and if there is any sort of shoot locations that's decided outside, whether with all these allegations that have surfaced, whether they will actually decide to go ahead with it or call it off, considering her restricted movement already now, it's going to be very interesting.
Not coming out of her room, incommunicado. Times Now has been trying to get and elicit responses. Tamal, we are being told that the NCB is set to summon Deepika Padukone. Can you confirm whether the summons has been sent to her? Remember, she lives right in the heart of Mumbai, in a very prominent locale. Very tony address, a beautiful building, where there are, of course, other high rollers. But Tamal, this is news that we are getting from Goa. Now, what is the NCP doing with regards to Deepika Padukone herself? Have they contacted her lawyers? What's happening?
Well, Rahul, Deepika Padukone chooses to remain silent as of now, but then she possibly will have to break a silence when she comes down to the NCB office, because having spoken to the NCB officials, they are saying the summon is in all likeness to be sent this week itself. Yes, I've spoken to NCB officials. They're saying a summon to Deepika Padukone in all likeness will be sent this week itself. The question is why? The answer that they are giving is that they are only following the procedure, one after the names which have been given out by people like Jaya Saha. Rahul, remember yesterday we said that Jaya Saha could be that one person holding the key to the mystery of Bollywood and drugs, alleged use of drugs. Now at this point in time, Jaya Saha has been summoned tomorrow once again. Would be a third consecutive day, third consecutive appearance before the NCB, and along with Jaya Saha, the other people like Dhruv and also Madhu Mantena have also been summoned tomorrow. Now they have investments, they have association with that one top talent management company which at one point had also catered to Deepika Padukone. In fact, Karishma, who had been an employee of that same very talent management company, had been in close association with Deepika Padukone, and the drug chats are out in open. So at this juncture, the NCB is not ruling out the possibility of summoning Deepika Padukone. Going by the sources, they are all said to send a summon possibly by end of this week, and possibly the appearance would then be expected to happen sometime early next week.
Okay, stay on with me, Tamal and Deepak. I'm just going to open this out very quickly. We are also getting more news that another big name has been uncovered after Deepika, Shraddha and Sara, another A-lister under the NCB lens. Bollywood drug net is unraveling very, very quickly. Tamal, what can you tell us about this other big name? Any idea? There's a lot of speculation. Some media houses rather irresponsibly put out a name. Of course, Dia Mirza has responded by saying that she's going to be taking legal action against all those media houses that actually took her name, because she has a very, very clean record. So anyone, of course, who is speculating right now on names and suggesting that it could be A or B, he's being irresponsible. But nonetheless, one other big name under the scanner. Oh, how has this name come up?
So Rahul, we would be very responsible. We have always been responsible while disclosing names. We have waited all this while, and we are still holding on to this name of another Bollywood top actor. Now, Anuj Keshwani has been arrested by NCB. He is connected with the CIA number 16/20. The same case that has accused Riya Chakraborty, Shobhik Chakraborty, Dipesh Sawant, Samuel Miranda, Zaid Wiltara and Basir. In that same case, Anuj Keshwani has also been arrested. While going through his statement and while he was interrogated, NCB learned that Anuj Keshwani's girlfriend happened to be an employee at a talent management company, a separate talent management company. That very employee, who happens to be Anuj Keshwani's girlfriend, had been in close association with this very actor. In fact, she used to cater this very actor. And in this professional association, there had been opportunities of conversation about drugs, alleged peddling of drugs, and procurement and consumption of drugs. And that's how the name of this Bollywood actor has come up. We are withholding the name. We have been given to understand that this Bollywood actor should also be expecting a summon by early next week. Having spoken to the investigating officer and the other NCB officials, they are saying they have other priorities for the time being. And tomorrow, Rahul, tomorrow would be extremely crucial, just not for this Bollywood actor, but you never know, for someone else as well.
Yeah, well, 4 people have been summoned. I'll come to that in just a few moments. Let me just open this out. Stay on with me, Tamal and Deepak. I'll check back with you in just a few moments. I want to open this out straight away. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, also with us is, of course, from the Bharatiya Janata Party, Hitesh Jain. But we're also joined at the top of the show by Dr. Subramanian Swamy, Member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha. And before I come out to you, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, I just want to go across to Dr. Subramanian Swamy, because I read your tweet today, Dr. Swamy, and you seem to be crediting the NDA for its single-minded pursuit of the Bollywood drug tangle. Now, do you think no other government would have dared? Why are you only singling out the NDA?
I don't think this credit really should go to a large extent today for those all investigations to Narendra Modi. But if I had not entered it in July 9th, when everything was dead, and raised the issue that this requires a CBI inquiry, and ultimately CBI inquiry was ordered. I spoke to Nitish Kumar. He said, if the parents ask for CBI inquiry, I'll recommend it. And that's how the recommendation went to Delhi. And Delhi then said, okay, the Patna part will give it to the CBI. Then it matter came up. It was challenged by Riya in the Bombay High Court and lost. And the CBI inquiry was ordered. And so, therefore, till that time, we were active. Now, after that, I would credit my government, and that is headed by Narendra Modi, that they fearlessly they have pursued, they have looked at other angles, particularly the drug angle, which is the most important part, because Bollywood is run by drug money. And therefore, you must clean it up. Otherwise, more and more Sushants will take place. And they have taken place in the past. Nobody can raise their voice. So now we'll say now or never. I mean, never again. If Sushant's prosecution of criminals who are responsible for his murder are prosecuted and convicted, then never again there will be such a thing they will dare. In the meantime, all these sordid deals, controlling companies, controlling women, controlling the careers of people, all that will end, and we'll have a genuine Bollywood which will be Indian and not controlled by Dubai.
Okay, not controlled by Dubai. Very, very interesting. So are you suggesting, Dr. Swamy, that those people who are today consuming drugs are only ending up strengthening anti-India forces? Of course you are, but there is also a call on the back of this to boycott those who have been found out consuming drugs in chats. Do you think this demand is valid, or is it an overreaction?
First, there should be proof that they have been taking drugs,
Yes.
because it can't be a witch hunt. So I think drug is a big problem in our country, and it's in many sectors. And if those who have been found, if they give an affidavit that never again they will touch drugs or meet anyone connected with drugs or go to any party where drugs are given, I think that would be a better way than boycotting them.
No, I appreciate that. That's a much needed balance in this particular debate. Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Dr. Swamy, as always, in the pursuit of justice, not in the pursuit of other things like, of course, vengeance, or in any way trying to reduce this entire endeavor to some sort of political exercise. No, that's not what he's about. But Dr. Anand Ranganathan, let me bring you in on this. I find it very strange that the Thali apologists, and I'm sorry that I'm calling them the Thali apologists, the Jaya Bachchans, the Taapsee Pannus, the Anurag Kashyaps, several others who came out and said, don't reduce this to a witch hunt. Don't reduce this to a witch hunt. We're not a dirty industry. We're not a dirty industry. Don't make this about Bollywood, rest of India. Or even the JNU fans that invited or invested a halo of righteousness around Deepika Padukone today are silent. What do you make of this?
Yeah, good evening, Rahul. You know, Bollywood is experiencing its moment of redemption. All those years living in the shit and filth of mediocrity and mafia and blackmail and black money and nepotism and drug-induced hubris. All those years when you were judged not by your own ability, but by that of your parent, or in some cases your grandparent. When you were handed awards you paid for. When a role for you meant more a joint than part in a film. When you were so high that you danced at the funeral of giants like Guru Dutt and Balraj Sahni and Bimal Roy and Majru and Naushad and S.D. Burman and countless others whose inheritance you blew away into smoke rings. Every artistic pursuit goes through a cycle of destruction and resurrection. But the resurrection, Rahul, can only come when you realize how lucky you are to be endowed with such rich legacy. When you discover that far away there is an oak tree beneath whose tired protruding roots is a biscuit tin containing a note that says, don't destroy what you never built. When you realize that you need to be like Andy, you need to crawl to freedom through 500 yards of foulness, you need to slither out that sewer pipe using your elbows and stand up on your legs and look up to face the heavens and let the rain wash away all that shit and filth and give you the strength to find that tin. Find that tin, Bollywood. It is your only hope.
Okay. Mr. Abdullah, Nasir Abdullah joins us. A Bollywood personality. Moment of redemption, says Dr. Anand Ranganathan. All those who have been accusing the media of leading a witch hunt, will they all come out today and be a little at least contrite? Don't you think we deserve role models that are, I'm not saying infallible, but certainly on the right side of the law at the very least?
Sorry, what is the question?
Well, the question is very simple. Don't we at least deserve our role models, putative role models, to be on the right side of the law? There are several people who have been saying there's a witch hunt going on.
Absolutely.
Are they going to today at least come out and apologize for going after the media? There are several other names I've been told that are going to come out of the closet.
I don't know about the others, I don't know about the others. I represent myself. I'm not much of a Bollywood person, though I've been there for a long time. But I've also been termed as a failed actor by some people, which is fine. I'm happy to accept that. So here's my deal. Whatever is against the law needs to be investigated, and the people involved with that have to be punished. Mostly, from what I've heard from the police, is that the suppliers are the ones who finally happen to be really punished, because the consumers are not. I mean, they are also penalized, but that is what happens. My only grouse is this: why only Bollywood? Why only Bombay and Bollywood? It is all over India. I smell it on the streets from auto rickshaw drivers. Everybody, and not everybody, lots of people all over India are having it. You go to Kullu, you go to Manali, of course.
So you're saying there's been a targeting.
But
you're saying there's been a targeting.
Bollywood? I'm happy they're doing it. They should go. No.
No, I think the question you should be asking.
Selection. So yes, it is a kind of a.
No, one second,
It should be on a national level.
The question that perhaps you should be asking is not why
it should be on a
only
national
Bollywood.
level. National level.
No, one second. What the question that perhaps you should be asking is that besides Bollywood, maybe you should be asking those people the question that didn't even want an investigation. Forget about Bollywood for a moment. They didn't want an investigation.
Oh, that's another story.
No, that's not another story. That's very much
I'm not
part
saying
of
that.
the story.
I'm not saying that.
Oh, no,
Having said that.
Look,
yeah.
then you better...
Yeah,
then
I
you
know.
better,
I know. There is one more thing I would like. There is one more thing I would like. It's very important. Please, is it okay for me to speak 1.5 line?
Go ahead. Say 2 lines.
Thank you. Okay, so Kangana Ranaut admitted on a TV interview many years ago that she got into the wrong company, etc. She was in the wrong whatever, and she did a fair amount of drugs. Fine. That was an old story. Much later, Shekhar Suman's son, she was involved with him, etc. It did not work out, and he claimed that she was onto the stuff, etc. So I think even she should be tested. She's the one who's been a very vociferous voice, and I respect her.
Hang on.
I have nothing against her.
So hang on. So when Deepika Padukone or the others who have been named, the Sara Ali Khans, the Rakul Preets, others who have been named in chats are going to be questioned, you're saying that this is targeting, but Kangana Ranaut must also be tested, but that's not targeting. That's not individual.
Everybody should be tested.
Look, hang on. We can't choose our battles here. One second. Let me open this up.
It should be fair. I think it would be fair.
One second. Let me open this out. Hitesh Jain, this is a witch hunt.
It should be fair.
Only Bollywood is being singled out. Your government is not interested in what is going on.
Everything is okay with
Okay,
everybody.
1 second, Mr. Abdullah, relax. 1 second, I'll come back to you.
Deepika has not admitted yet.
No one is suggesting anyone is guilty.
Kangana has admitted.
Listen,
on two
Kangana
occasions.
might have been forced into it. She might have been coerced into it. Does that imply guilt? No, it doesn't. At least she's had the guts. At least she's had the guts to be transparent.
I'm not saying so.
At least she's had the guts to be transparent.
Yes.
Maybe we should be asking questions of the people who forced her into the drug habit, and perhaps that's the reason why.
Sure.
We have to be so careful. I met somebody today. I'll tell you.
The law is the
no,
law.
1 minute. I went out today. One second. I went out today. I was stopped by a concerned resident of the neighborhood I live in. No, 1 second, Mr. Abdullah. And they're worried. They're worried for their own children.
Okay.
This particular individual has a nephew who is working in Bollywood. And this lady is very, very worried that an all-pervasive culture of permissiveness and perhaps even lax attitude towards contraband will suck in their promising ward, ruin that person's career. Don't we have an obligation? Whether it's a college or a school, we've got to protect those who cannot defend themselves against peer pressure, because there are a bunch of people who want to push you down a path because they think it's cool. Sorry, it doesn't work. You can't make people belong to an industry just because they talk up, just because they can blow rings of smoke, as Dr. Anand Ranganathan claims. So Hitesh Jain, I want to ask you, let's for a moment forget what I said. I want to ask you in all earnestness, are you on a witch hunt? Is the NDA going after, and there are many people who are saying this, dissenters, known dissenters. Set the
Rahul,
record straight.
on your-
Tell us.
On your
Well,
channel,
I think-
you have been
I think
placing
there is an
plenty of materials.
There's an indication
And those
of
are
that.
No, one
material
second.
facts.
One second. No, one
And
second. Mr.
prima
Abdullah, you had
facie-
your turn.
Should be
Don't give me
prima
this.
facie-
Anyone today
Mr. Abdullah,
who is
please allow
consuming
everyone to
drugs,
have their
who's
turn.
paying a lot of
You
money
had
to
your
consume
turn.
drugs, he's ending up strengthening anti-India forces. You know where that drug is coming from. You know it comes from across the border. You know it finances all sorts of anti-India activities, including terror.
I don't.
Radicalism. Well, if
Yeah.
you don't know, sir, then I suggest you come out of your fog of ignorance and
comes
wake up
from
to the
India too.
realities of this world.
It
If
comes
you haven't
from
heard of Dawood
Manali
Ibrahim
and
living
Kulu
in
as
Mumbai,
well.
if you
It
haven't
comes
watched
from
the
Rahul,
movies
Mr.
that have been
Abdullah,
made on him,
allow
then I'm
others to
sorry,
also
sir.
put their point of view.
Maybe you yourself have found your senses dulled
It is
by the
national
opium
and international.
of make-believe. I'm sorry, Bollywood cannot live in a parallel universe.
It is from
You
India
can't be
and
taking
abroad.
in the opium, sir, of make-believe
police
to
will
such
be
an
able to
extent.
tell
Now, one
us
minute.
that.
Let me open this out, please.
The police will be able to tell us that.
Okay, sir.
The Punjab
sir,
police and other
know
police
when
will
to
be able
deliver
to
your
tell us
line.
that,
Maybe
for
that's
sure.
why you're a failed actor, because you just keep babbling on. Now relax, calm down. 30 seconds, please. Don't make this one of those contestations, please. Hitesh Jain, answer the question. Ishkaran Bhandari is also waiting. Answer the question. Yes, Hitesh
Rahul,
Jain.
Anurag Kashyap can make a movie called Udta Punjab and blame the entire state of Punjab. In the sports, even if a simple sample of drug is found, the sportsperson is banned from the entire participation. And here, when there is a prima facie, there is a evidence of wrongdoing and an investigation is going on, people have problem with such investigation. Now, what are we seeing? Where does Bollywood draws the line? Drugs, sexual assault, and hypocrisy. I mean, everywhere the arguments that are being advanced by Bollywood is pure hypocrisy. We saw yesterday what happened when the allegations of sexual assault came against Anurag Kashyap. Again, there was a hypocrisy. 2 years before, the same lobby were saying that you should take the sides of the woman and not blame. But in the case of Anurag Kashyap, what happens? No, we have to blame the woman. So what is the word? One word for Bollywood: hypocrisy. I am surprised, and don't be surprised also when tomorrow Bollywood will also advance, and there will be some people who will advance an argument that consuming drug is a fundamental right and you should legalize the
It's
drug.
part of artistic license. Some people could even say that. 1 minute, 1 second. It's very important. Very important, viewers. Ishkaran Bhandari wants to join this. 1 second. Let's just ask this question straight off the bat. Drugs, sexual assaults, casting couch syndromes, exploitation. All of this exists. It's almost woven into the DNA of this industry. And they say, why are you focusing exclusively on Bollywood? Without asking, why are you focusing on the transgressors? Look how cleverly Bollywood is being intertwined with a few rotten apples. No one is saying the entire industry is bad. But there are certainly very prominent individuals who have been attached to all sorts of misdemeanors. Smoke them out. Sorry to use the pun. Ishkaran Bhandari.
Rahul, you have been saying that lot of A-listers would come. I think it looks like more like B-listers because it's a drug list. It is not an A-list, it's a drug list. And when we have today, as a nation, we have to make a call. Would we go for a cleanup or would we go for a cover-up? It's a very stark choice and there are no grays in this choice. If Bollywood is having a drug problem and the drug problem is not only about consumption, those who supply you drugs do get some power over you. They can influence you, they can blackmail you. And Bollywood is in a unique position. I keep repeating this. If a Bollywood star goes to JNU, that becomes the international news depending on the stature of the star. That is not the problem if a rickshaw wala or auto wala would go. So when you have the ability to influence the youth, the citizens of this country, obviously you will be asked hard questions if you legitimize the use of drugs and if you legitimize the use of sexual harassment as a tool of giving opportunity. And I would like to speak on that aspect also. Everybody in Me Too movement who came out and said, believe a woman because a woman does not lie, suddenly has done a somersault. The last time saw this somersault was when it was a journalist, Mr. Tarun Tejpal. Now when it came to Bollywood, I have same somersault done. So let us be clear, we need to have the same ground rules for everybody. Because
Same ground rules are required, and that's the point. No hypocrisy here. Abha Singh, you're a lawyer and activist. Can't keep running away from the reality. Bollywood can't construct for itself a parallel universe and say that no laws that apply to the country apply to us. We can make films on Punjab. We can say the entire state of Punjab and every youth there is shooting up and mainlining. But hey, our stars are cold sober. You can't say that. Sorry.
Not at all, not at all. I think Sanjay Dutt went behind bars. Salman Khan has been in and out, and his case is again for the hit and run is in Supreme Court. Nobody is above the law. But that much you will have to accept for the 90 days, past 90 days, all the A-lister channels have had nothing to discuss except Bollywood, because that is what is giving you TRP, Mr. Rahul Shivshankar.
Oh, so it's about TRPs? It's not about the health of... No, it's not about the health of...
No, let's come to the...
No, 1 second. What are you trying to say? Hang on. 1 second. No, 1 minute. 1 second. Abha Singh, Times now has... No, 1 second. Times now has been a market leader, 1 second, for 13 years. We've done enough stories on enough subjects. We just don't need... No, 1 second. We don't need to put out a few WhatsApps of Deepika Padukone to get our TRPs. Excuse me. Abha Singh, you've been part of debates here on the irrigation scam, on police corruption. You've been... No, 1 minute. I can... Listen. Let's not go down this silly... No. Superficial, silly road of... No. You want to take this issue on, head on and speak. No, 1 second. Why did you want us then to debate Udta Punjab? You tell me that. You tell me that.
Drag and you do it Deepika Mal chat. This is the heading you carry, Deepika Mal chat, when there are no...
But didn't she ask for Mal?
No.
What am I supposed to say? If I use the word drug, you will... No, 1 second. If I use the word drug, you will say that I'm insinuating guilt.
I mean, for a channel like you writing such things...
Excuse me, madam. Abha Singh, excuse me.
Have you recovered any...
Excuse me. Abha Singh, you can vent your spleen, but that doesn't cover up. That doesn't cover up for what could be, 1 second, what could be a very pernicious nexus between certain individuals who are subscribing to... 1 second. I'm asking you 2 questions. 1 minute, Abha Singh.
I want to hear your voice.
I want to ask you 2 questions. 1 second.
If you want to be like...
1 second, madam. You want to, if you want to hear your own voice and make allegations without waiting for a rebuttal, then I'm sorry. We can't have a conversation. 1 second. Did I make any allegations against you personally? And I have many to make. I could.
Let me speak first.
I could. So you can't just sit here and start venting your spleen against the channel and the anchors. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. No, let's talk about it. You want to get personal? You don't want to get personal, madam. You don't want to get personal with Times now. Wrong. Very wrong.
Drug chat of 2017.
Very wrong. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Abha Singh, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that drug consumption anywhere in this country, when you peddle drugs, when you buy drugs, doesn't enrich the underworld that operates out of Pakistan and gives them cash to carry out anti-India activities? Do you believe this or do you not believe this?
See, you are, of course.
Of course. You don't think this is a big issue?
But drugs...
You don't think this is... No, you don't think this is a big issue?
Drugs are sold outside schools and colleges, so you will make those students anti-national. You will catch the cartels, and that is what NCB is supposed to do. It is supposed to catch drugs on the borders at the international cartels, and rather than doing that, all it is doing is catching consumers, and that too on drug chat. Today I ask you, Rahul Chat, have you seen hash? Have you got the meow? So you will say, I have talked to you, so I want drugs. No. You require evidence. The first thing of NDPS is that if drug is recovered, it is sent for forensics. The chemical analysis is done to prove that it is a drug. Where has drug been recovered on Deepika Mal chats that you are saying that she had drugs? I am asking this to NCB. Let an NCB officer come on the channel and talk to us and tell us what evidence they have. Because before that, in fact, in Rahul Shivshankar, Delhi High Court said, please do not get into rhetoric. Let the truth come out.
Abha Singh, no one is in any way assigning guilt to anybody. You know that very well. When Jaya Bachchan got up in Parliament and she said, "Jis khali mein khate hain, usme chhed karte hain," she was sending out a message to the likes of Kangana Ranaut and others to not even talk about what is a pretty well-known open secret. She wasn't really talking about, at any level, let me tell you, a fidelity to truth, or talking about the pernicious effects of drug taking. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, am I right? Ishkaran Bhandari, am I right? Dr. Anand Ranganathan, let me bring you in on this. Am I right or am I wrong? Tell me.
No, of course it goes beyond any doubt, Rahul, but can I please, with due respect to Ms. Abha Singh, who's been a real torchbearer of sorts when it comes to seeking justice, for the wrongdoings of celebrities, I must say, so from Salman Khan to Sanjay Dutt, but I'm afraid I disagree with her when she's, dragged in the accusation that TV channels are only showing things related to Bollywood drug mafia. I mean, I find this defense really specious and contentious for two reasons. Number one, a TV channel is not a newspaper. A newspaper carries news from city to India to international to sports. A TV channel with a prime time window of 2 hours can't do that. That said, it is your prerogative to switch it off or switch it on. And secondly, most importantly, just yesterday, Rahul, I can tell you that 10 to 11 was a debate on Times Now on the farmer bill. 2 days ago, I participated in a debate on the Delhi riots. It is just one of those things, a prime time for 1 hour cannot encapsulate all that has happened during the day. So please, I think I find this debate really specious.
One second, let me
coming
tell
from
you.
a stalwart like Ms. Abha Singh,
Yesterday at 8:30 we also debated.
Now,
yesterday at 8:30 we also debated what had happened in Parliament. But of course, one second. Inferences is the part of those who are serial obfuscators. Serial obfuscators. Don't want to answer the question. Will obfuscate. Ishkaran Bhandari wants to come in. We've heard you, madam. If that's your only defense, you're doing a bad job.
10 seconds, Rahul.
Yes. 3 seconds. 3 seconds. 1 minute.
And I just want to end with one question to Ms. Abha Singh. Who used the word Mal? Was it Times Now or was it Ms. Deepika Padukone? Just answer that question.
I can see on the screen Deepika Mal chat.
Okay, 1 second. MR Venkatesh is also there. And 1 second, Ishkaran Bhandari. MR Venkatesh and Ishkaran Bhandari. Let me bring you in. Okay, Mr. Srivastava, relax, calm down.
No, sorry, Rahul, let us be very clear.
Yeah, just keep him silent. I'll come to him in 30 seconds. Yeah, just relax.
Rahul,
can't reduce this to the well of Parliament.
Rahul, yes. Your headline is a literal headline because Mal was a literal copy. So now if people have a problem with a literal headline, you can't help that. From Jaya Bachchan in Parliament saying, why are people on social media speaking, to people saying, why is media speaking? This is all a strategic part of the cover-up. If nobody spoke today, we probably would not have an investigation into Sushant Singh Rajput, or quietly drug investigation would be buried. So please don't fall prey to these things. People who don't want to hear this can go to other channels and not come to debate, or can switch the TV on.
They did go to Ria's account or not. ED went back without even
Okay, we're not sitting here and passing judgment on the evidence. We haven't seen much of it. What we have seen is out on your screens. MR Venkatesh, how do you define these individuals who are coming out today and suggesting that it's okay to make films, it's okay to investigate in the largest national interest the problem in a border state like Punjab, but don't look at what is happening in Bollywood, in Mumbai, a state that has had a history of dealing, or at least a city, which has been well infiltrated by the underworld. Just today, the properties of Dawood Ibrahim's closest aide were being auctioned in the state of Mumbai. What are we talking about? And in Dubai.
Rahul, it was not a case of Udta Punjab. As somebody brilliantly put it, it's a case of Udta Bollywood. But we all knew it. You knew it, I knew it, all the panelists knew it. But for some strange reason, the Bollywood which stood on the three stools, or three legs of a stool, namely terrorism, drug money, narco-terror money, and of course, you had narcotics. So all the three combined to make Bollywood what she was or what it is. But unfortunately, there was not a time which investigating agencies could have actually penetrated and but 1 minute. Why? Sir, I have not been spoken for 30 seconds. Why is this gentleman disturbing me?
Shut him down. Yes.
This is going to be the level of debate we are going to have. It's not proper, Rahul.
M.R. Venkatesh, go ahead.
I feel very discomforted even being next to him on a frame. So you can understand my problem. See, this gentleman is come here only to derail my thoughts. Be that as it may. Now, listen, this problem of drugs, what Deepika has, when she goes to the JNU, she gets prime time coverage on the TV. At that time, she becomes an expert on the Constitution. She becomes an expert on CAA. But if she is going to get into a chat which is suggestive of drug consumption, she will always have to bear the heat. This is the problem of people who are celebrities. So my grandmother, if she consumes drugs, not a dog is going to bark. But if Deepika Padukone, who voices her view on everything and anything, she will get into it. And be that as it may, today the problem is not limited to only Bollywood. It has gone to Tamil industry, it has gone to Sandalwood, which is the Karnataka industry, which is all reeking of this. So this war is not to be seen from a limited pedantic view of only between Malabar Hills and Bandra. This is a national problem. Please get out of your...
Well, certainly those stars that append themselves to national causes to build a stronger India cannot have infirmities such as this, an Achilles heel such as this. And if they do, then their hypocrisy needs to also to be called out. Breaking news coming in. I'm being told that Jaya Saha's arrest is now imminent. Let me bring in Tamal. Tamal, what are you hearing? This is very big. Jaya Saha, who is linked in one way or the other to Deepika Padukone, who is linked in one way or the other to Riya Chakravarti, who is linked in one way or the other to Sara Ali Khan and also the others. Why is she emerging as the kingpin? What's happening here? And she belongs to a talent agency. Has that agency taken any action against her for perhaps even exceeding her role or a brief?
Well, certainly she has only received promotion after promotion, so it seems like the company, even though possibly know-how of a lot of things, at least her activities with vis-a-vis the talent she was trying to manage, it seems like the company itself is in some sort of a trouble now, because tomorrow, that is Wednesday, Jaya Saha has been asked to appear before the agency once again. Along with she, Dhruv Chidkopikar has also been asked to come down to the NCB office, and Madhu Mantena, a very important name, a producer, a national award-winning producer who has produced several movies. Incidentally, he has also produced Udta Punjab, and one who has investments in the same talent management company. He too has been called tomorrow. So basically, Jaya Saha has given out the name of Madhu Mantena. He would be coming tomorrow. There would be cross-examination, and given the fact that Jaya Saha has spilled out names, given the fact that Jaya Saha is part of several chats, WhatsApp conversations with celebrities and conversations which revolve around the interest of drugs, procurement of drugs. But you are learning from NCB sources that her role is definitely under the scanner.
I'm also being told that at least 6 other top actors today have been closeted with their legal teams, building preemptorily a strategy to defend themselves. That's also what we've learned. Viewers, Jaya Saha's arrest is imminent. She might hold the key. Tamal is telling us that she's an important player. She represents one of the biggest talent management companies in Bollywood. It's interesting that none of the stars attached to the talent management company have come out and said that we don't want to associate with this company anymore, given the fact that some of its employees have been found soliciting drugs for their clients. I would think that this would be a critical step in the interest of building trust with all of you out there that would be taken by these A-listers. I'm taking a very short break. Dramatic disclosures coming up, viewers, right after this. Stay with us. Don't go away.